very good evening. It's the 14th of March 2023. Welcome to the primetime news here on TV1 for the Newsfirst team, where the people come first. I'm Senitha Senanayaka. Before we take a look at the stories that we've got for you this evening, let's take a look at the headlines. Trade unions to go on a one-day strike against unjust tax, bank rates and cost of living. Trade unions born of continuous strikes if solutions are not provided.
විසඳුමක් නැත්නම් හේටිනුත් එහාට මේ වැඩ වර්ජනය දියත් කරන්න අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා.
Trade unions opposing strike call to abandon trade union action and support to build the country.
මම සාගලයි මුතුමාට කියනවා ඔබතුමාලා අපේ ජනාධිපතිතුමා ආරක්ෂා කරලා දෙන්න.
Malwatu and Askiri Mahanayaka Theros call to ease social pressure and control unrest. Committee to recommend suitable government hospitals for clinical training for private medical students. Tomorrow is the 15th of March. The Professionals Trade Union Collective had declared a nationwide day of protests. Government, semi-government and private trade unions are geared up to support the strikes. The government medical officers, specialist doctors, university teachers, faculty of medicine teachers, CEB engineers, bankers, petroleum workers, water supply workers, road development officers, education administrative officers, surveyors, inland revenue officers are among the 40 trade unions that will support this move. Their main demand is to amend the unjust tax policy implemented by the government. The payee tax between 6% to 36% imposed on monthly earnings over 100,000 rupees had placed professionals across many sectors in a tough position. Public, semi-public and private trade unions have joined their cause with several more demands. These include a demand to reduce bank interest rates, provide a cost of living allowance of 20,000 rupees, reduce the electricity tariff and suspend attempts to slash wages and pension payments. At the same time, school teachers, principals, nurses, health services, postal services, public management services, field officers, among others, have decided to extend their support to the strike. Token strikes, protests and meetings took place on Tuesday ahead of the massive strike action planned for Wednesday.
Trade unions of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka planned a protest march to demand amendments to the government's tax regime. However, Sri Lanka police did not permit the march. Thereafter, the group protested opposite the Central Bank of Sri Lanka.
The government side says the issue arose because the secretaries did not take decisions on time. Those decisions were not made by the professionals and the officials. Our issue here is why is there no accountability over those who did not take decisions and those who made wrong decisions. We do not see any program to enforce the law against them. If attempts are being made to suppress the voice of the professionals, the government will have to rethink its strategy. Slander and comments will not solve this issue.
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union engaged in a series of protests across the country. The protest, organised by the Colombo District Bank employees, was staged near the Lake House roundabout.
We have not yet received any message about what the President's response would be after the discussion last evening. When the bank employees and the managers time lock and step out, bank safes will not be open tomorrow, so the banks will not operate tomorrow.
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union engaged in a protest in Anuradhapura as well.
We demand the government to amend this unfair tax policy and create an economy and environment in which people can live peacefully.
Bank employees in Kandy also protested, demanding an immediate reduction of the unfair taxes.
We are willing to pay a fair tax for the people of this country, but why are they trying to get funds from the IMF by burdening the people of this country with an unfair tax policy and turning the people of this country into beggars, turning professionals into beggars?
The Ceylon Bank Employees Union also staged protests in Kegol, Mathura and Gaul. The Government Medical Officers Association went on strike in the northwestern, Uwa, Sabaragamuwa, northern and north central provinces against the new tax policy, shortage of medicine and several other social issues. At approximately 8 a.m, doctors in the western province stepped away from treatments and services. Newsfirst correspondents said that the clinic services were not available at the Kurunegala Teaching Hospital.
මේත් ගන්නවට ෆාමසියෙන් ගන්න ලීලා තියෙන්නේ මේත් නෑ මේ ස්පිරිතාලේ තවත් පහන් නතරලා ඉඳලා අද උදේ ටිකට් කැපුවා ගෙදර යන්නේ ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා පල්ලි නෑ මට විතර ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් 21ක් නියම කරුවා එක ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් 920ක් දැන් ගෙදර ගිහිල්ලා වී කුසල් හතරක් තියෙනවා එකෙන් කොටසක් විකුණලා තමයි යන්නේ වෙන්නේ පෙරාදෙනි අපි දුප්පත් නෙවෙයි අපිට කොයිතන් කරගෙන අපි ජීවත් වෙන්නේ අපිට ස්පිරිතාලේ මේත් නැත්තම් සල්ලි කොහෙද තියෙන්නේ ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් 21කට 21000 ගණක් යනවා.
This was the situation at the Chilao District General Hospital.
සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාව තමයි මේකෙන් වැටකන්නේ. අපහසුතාවයට පත් වෙනවා, ලෙඩු ඇවිල්ලා රස්තිය අඩු වෙලා යනවා. ඉතින් අපි ඉල්ලන්නේ රජයට යහපතක් මිනිස්සුන්ට කරන්න කියලා.
දැන් අපි කුඩිය පිටියේ ඉඳන් මේ ආයෙ උදේ පාන්දර දැන් ඉතින් වේත් ගන්න නෑ. ඒකට ආයෙ එන්න ඕන මේකට. අනේ මන්ද කවුද වග කියන්නේ කියලා හිතන්නත් බෑ අපිට.
Operations at hospitals in the North Central Province also came to halt due to the strike. OPD and clinics at the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital did not operate. Many patients who visited the Manampitiya Regional Hospital for treatment and medicine were turned away due to the strike. OPD and clinics did not function at hospitals in the Uwa province due to the strike action.
ඉතින් මිනිස්සුන්ට තමයි ඔක්කොම සාහන දෙනවා කියලා කිව්වට මොකුත් සාහනයක්වත් නැහැ මොකුත් නැහැ බෙහෙතුත් නැහැ ක්ලිනික් එකේ බෙහෙතුත් නැහැ දේශපාලන දැනගන්න අපේ මේකට විසඳුමක් දෙන්නේ මොකක්ද ඉල්ලන්නේ මොකක්ද කරන්නේ කියන එක දැනගන්න එපා ඒගොල්ලෝනේ.
Operations at the Sabaragamuwa Hospital also came to a halt as a result of the strike, and this was the situation at the Kegol District General Hospital. OPD and clinics did not function at the Ratnapura Teaching Hospital. Hospital activities in the northern province were crippled by the strike. However, emergency services functioned at most hospitals where the strike was in effect. The Professionals Trade Union Collective met at the GMOA office for a discussion.
We like to tell this government that we are not ready to end this strike tomorrow. If there is no solution, we are ready to continue this strike beyond tomorrow. We have seen how the president has been attempting to let go of this matter since yesterday. As he had no option, he agreed to meet us yesterday night. But none of these meetings or discussions have been fruitful. Therefore, this strike will be launched island by tomorrow. This trade union action will continue beyond tomorrow. As such, the country's situation will go from bad to worse. Therefore, the authorities should pay attention to this matter immediately. We are open for discussions even at this point. We hope that there will be progress and reasonable solutions for professionals in this country. We have decided to continue water refinery and pumping activities as essential services. We will abandon all other services tomorrow. Therefore, there will be certain breakdowns in maintenance services. The Professionals Trade Union Collective, the Government Medical Officers Association, have not decided to turn back its decision on striking. We will continue with this strike. Usually when the Government Medical Officers Association launch a strike, all our members step down from private practice as well. Apart from emergency services at private hospitals, our members abandon continuing other kinds of treatments during a strike.
The All Ceylon Health Trade Union Federation convened a media briefing today.
We hope to launch a 24-hour strike from 6:30 am on Wednesday to 6:30 am on Thursday. We will bring together all officers from all grades for this strike. We will directly support the strike with approximately 40,000 nursing staff.
The collective and trade unions mass organisation convened a media briefing today as well.
Ranil Wickramasinghe will witness the might of the public, semi-public and private sector trade unions. If he is not ready to respond, we are not ready to back down as well. Do not try to call for baseless meetings. If you are wise, the stooges of Ranil Rajapaksha would understand this and address it.
The CEB Joint Trade Union Alliance elaborated on their stance.
We must tell the government that if the electricity board goes on strike, the entire staff will take to the streets and the power plants will be shut down and the activities of 20 million citizens will definitely be disrupted. This is an institution that is connected with the lives of all citizens. So we had a discussion last night. If a one-day strike takes out the employees of power plants, the people of the country will be inconvenienced. But we are telling the government, do not consider this as our cowardice. If we have to continue these strikes even after tomorrow, we will take that powerful decision. We emphasize that the government will also then have to leave.
The Teacher Principal Association have reached a decision to join the one-day strike tomorrow.
Our strike action will only be in effect tomorrow. We are doing this for the people. This strike is not only based on our demands, but the demands of the people as well. Instead of attempting to solve the problems, we see individuals like Vajira Bewardhana, who doesn't even have the mandate of the people, threatening us. We don't take those to heart. The people of this country sent Ranil Wickramasinghe and Vajira Bewardhana to the garbage dump without voting for them. I would like to tell these jokers that we do not fear them. We do not feel Ranil or Vajira. You are all just clowns. Stop joking with the people. If you are thinking of scaring the working people by saying that you will confiscate the property and if you keep ordering essential services, etc., go look in the mirror and see if at least you will fear such moves. The Association of Education Professionals expresses our full support for the trade union action or strike action launched for tomorrow and declares that all principals, teachers and members of our union will join the action by not reporting to work tomorrow. They claim that Ranil Wickramasinghe has good knowledge on international affairs. Please read the history of the world and see what happened to leaders who are full of such dictatorial frenzy and do not have the people's mandate.
Sri Lanka's postal service was declared as an essential service through a special gazette notification issued by the President. This gazette was issued after public transport services for passengers or goods, port services and airport services were declared as essential service earlier. However, the Joint Postal Services Trade Union declared a 24-hour strike with effect from midnight on Tuesday. At the same time, postal workers protested opposite post offices in several areas of the country and the main protest took place opposite the Central Mail Exchange in Colombo.
All staff at the Central Mail Exchange stepped away at 4 p.m. Postal workers across all 653 post offices and 3,610 sub-post officers will step away with effect from midnight. We urge the Ranil Wickramasinghe government to abolish this tax regime and provide relief. Taxes were imposed on the salaries. Bank interest rates were increased. The electricity tariff was also increased. The prices of goods were also increased. The government increased the prices and rates. We have to tell this to the government. On the 9th of May, the people will amass. We will not remain silent.
Protests took place opposite the main offices in Matara, Anuradhapura and Kurunegala as well. The Railway Engineers Union too have decided to join hands with the strike action to be launched tomorrow.
We will participate in a token strike for 24 hours starting from midnight today. We express our regret towards office employees and railway passengers. We haven't received a proper response regarding the unfair imposition of taxes. If the government doesn't respond to protests launched by trade unions, we will have to take collective actions in the future.
In the meantime, leave for all railway workers have been cancelled. Railways General Manager WADS Gunasinghe has said that this step has been taken to ensure the smooth operation of railway services.
A media briefing was convened by a group named the Public, Semi-Government and Private Trade Union Collective against the proposed strike on Wednesday. The briefing took place in the office of Saman Ratnapriya, the Director General of Trade Unions, to the President.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe has created a situation where the people can breathe. Our fellow trade union leaders have forgotten that a conspiracy is taking place from overseas to incite the people and sabotage the government programs. Trade union leaders with no proper wage are leading these strikes. We have faith in the President. You are getting your salaries on time. You are getting your allowances on time. Do not follow these leaders. The economy collapsed due to the conduct of the doctors. They are doing the same today. They gave false advice for benefits. Furthermore, they do not think about the patients. I request Sagala to protect the President. He can do what the great leaders of the United National Party did. Therefore, I urge the people to protect him. Why are they saying that their issues will be solved once all hospitals shut down in the evening? They cannot close down the government hospitals during the day because doctors won't agree. Public administration is a mess for allowing these strikes to go on.
This was the response given to the strike action at the Cabinet media briefing.
This government and the President has taken up this difficult challenge and it is now on the path to gradually overcome it. The Board of Directors of the International Monetary Fund will meet on the 20th and is preparing to give us an extended fund facility to resolve the crisis in the balance of payments. The government has declared essential services through gazettes because they don't want anything to hinder the IMF process. Transportation, ports, postal, electricity, etc. have been declared as essential services. If these laws are breached, action will be taken. The Gazette states that the law should be fully enforced.
And with
that, we'll move on to a short commercial break. Stay with News First.
News First, main sponsor.
23% for 2 months, 25% for 4 months. Valuable FD.
The boy gets the biggest piece.
Show them that being a woman is not an incompetence.
Girls sit in the back seat.
Guide them into a joyous world with no discrimination.
Here, wash mine also.
Teach them she is beneath no one. That hers and his value are the same. Small acts of intimidation can lead to future violence. Teach them respect and stop this violence at its earliest.
A trusted place for your fixed deposit. Valuable FD. 23% for 2 months, 25% for 4 months. Valuable FD, a symbol of stability.
Welcome back to the news. The Mahanayaka Theros of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters, in a letter to the President, have called for measures to reduce the cost of living, minimize the burden on the people, and introduce a proper policy-based mechanism to control social unrest.
The letter to the President was signed by the Mahanayaka of the Malwatu chapter of the Siam sect, the Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero, and the Mahanayaka of the Askiri chapter of the Siam sect, the Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratna Thero. The Mahanayaka Theros of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters noted that the government must act immediately to successfully face the economic challenges, minimize the cost of living, and introduce a people-friendly policy to secure the lives of the people. The Mahanayakatheros of the Malwatu and Askiri chapters stressed the importance of all stakeholders to understand their duties and responsibilities in ensuring the country reaches economic stability. The Mahanayakathero also pointed out that protecting democracy means to establish the people's mandate via a free and fair election, and stressed that it is a responsibility of the government to ensure the local government elections are held accordingly.
Meanwhile, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has expressed gratitude to the Paris Club, Japan, India and China for enabling cooperation required to reach an IMF facility for the country.
An open letter to Sri Lanka's official bilateral creditors, President Wickremesinghe noted that his administration has already implemented major reforms by way of prior actions agreed with the IMF. The President noted that Sri Lanka is committed to communicate transparently with all on any debt treatment terms that are agreed with any creditor or group of creditors before being formalized. The President in his letter has also committed not to resume debt service to any creditor unless that creditor agrees on a comprehensive debt treatment in line with the IMF-supported program parameters and the comparability of treatment principle. He said that Sri Lanka will not conclude debt treatment agreements with any official bilateral creditor or any commercial creditor or any group of such creditors on terms more favorable than those agreed under any multilateral platform put forward by our official bilateral creditors. The President said that Sri Lanka has not and will not make any side arrangements with any creditor aimed at reducing the debt treatment impact on that creditor.
As it was mentioned in the headlines, the President has decided to appoint a committee to identify suitable government hospitals to be used as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for private medical students.
The committee will identify suitable government hospitals as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for medical students enrolled at the General Sir John Kothalavala Defence University, Dr. Neville Fernando Hospital, Lyceum Campus and other universities in Colombo, Kaluthara, Gampaha, Kurunegala and Polonnaruwa without hampering the training of students in state universities. The committee will be responsible for studying, reviewing and identifying suitable government hospitals to function as teaching hospitals to provide clinical training for medical students enrolled at the KDU, Dr. Neville Fernando Hospital, Lyceum Campus and other universities in Colombo, Kaluthara, Gampaha, Kurunegala and Polonnaruwa. Accordingly, State Minister of Health Dr. Sita Armbepola will be appointed as the chairperson of the committee.
Multiple robberies were reported in recent days, and tonight we take a look at the most recent incidents of theft.
Employees at a shop in Madivila Thalawattukuda succeeded in preventing two individuals from looting the shop. The employees detained the two men and handed over the suspects to the Thalangama police. The police said that they seized a gun, hand grenade and a knife from the possession of the two individuals. The suspects are identified as two men aged 50 and 26 and residents of Ganemulla. Investigations reveal that these two individuals have been involved in several robberies at shops in the Western Province. Similar incidents continue to be reported these days. Does it indicate that there is a rise in robberies? Shouldn't the authorities take necessary steps to prevent these incidents?
A protest took place at Independence Square against the crackdown on protests and the use of tear gas.
The Socialist Youth Union and several other civil activists had made arrangements to stage a creative protest under the theme "Are Chemical Weapons the Response to the Voice of Rights?" at the Independence Square. However, police was deployed in several places and barricades were put up at the entrance.
permission ගන්න ඕනේ. මොකද මේ කෑල්ල අපිට I think මම අවස්ථාන භාර නිලධාරිය විදියට හරි මට අවසර දෙන්න බෑ. ඔබතුමාත් එක්ක අපිට ගැටලුවක් නැහැ. ඔබතුමාගේ ආයතන එක්ක ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. නිදහස් චතුරස්‍රය කියන්නේ නිදහස් සටන වෙනුවෙන් සදීපිදු විරුවන්ව සිහි කරලා ගෞරව කරන්න හදපු ස්මාරකයක්. හරි. හරිද? අපි මේ සාමකාමීව නෑ මේක තේරුම් ගන්න. අවසරයක් ගන්න ඕනේ යන්න රාජ්‍ය පරිපාලනය. මේ සීමාවෙන් එහා පැත්ත කරන්න. ඒක නවත්තන්න නෙමෙයි මං කියන්නේ. අර මේ කට්ටිය කොල්ලෝ ටික බස් එක දෙන්න. හරි හරි.
Protests against the electricity tariff hike took place this evening across several areas.
Line Socialist Party organised a protest with locals in Panudura using torches. The protesters demanded an immediate revision of the electricity tariff and called for the local government elections. Similarly, a protest took place in Alpitia town against the electricity tariff hike and the rising cost of living. Protesters with torches in hand marched around the Alpitia town.
Tonight, we bring you the story of a woman of courage.
This is attorney Gayani Prematilaka. Serving as the legal officer of the Ministry of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government, she has carried out a pioneering mission to increase the representation of women in local government institutions in Sri Lanka. A special contribution she made to the field of local government in Sri Lanka is to contribute to the preparation of fresh new laws for more effective implementation of public representation in local government institutions.
My duties are being carried out at the provincial state institution that engages with the people at grassroots levels. When working here, I have to keep aside my political stance. As a lawyer, I cannot forget that the fundamentals such as unbiasedness and equality before the law are common to all people. You need to be fair, unbiased and just at all times. This way, you will be able to face all challenges as a woman.
The Fisheries Processed Products Factory was declared open by the Western Province Governor on Tuesday. Newsfirst Ruhaza Irfan brings this report.
Products Factory was established to house different stages of production cycle of processed fisheries products. This initiative hopes to reduce the wastage of daily catch of fishermen. Moreover, the initiative will help and benefit the consumer, the government as well as fishermen during the soaring prices of food in the country. This initiative will help make a source of protein accessible to every household. The annual forecasted revenue for the full production is 435 million rupees. What you see here is high-quality homegrown pineapples used to produce fresh bottle juice. Extra produce that are cultivated are used at this facility to manufacture fresh juice and jam. This is done to reduce the wastage while also supporting the local farmers during these trying times. These are fresh produce from our very own Sri Lankan farmers.
You find generally, when production comes to the market, because there is a lot that comes there, the price drops drastically, and the farmer gets into a very difficult situation. So we fix our prices. That is one for the farmer, then for the consumer, for the government. We are increasing our ability to produce our own things. Sea is right around us, so we shouldn't buy from other countries. We should be actually sending out to other countries.
This initiative also provides employment for the people of the area to support the community as well.
The Old Boys Association of St. John's College, Jaffna, donated a building in view of its bicentenary celebrations, built on an investment of 98 million rupees. The building has been named after the college's former headmaster Robert Williams and is called the Robert Williams Memorial Bicentennial Block. The event was graced by the presence of college headmaster Tusitaran.
Commemorating the 200th year of existence is indeed a proud moment in the history of St. John's College. 200 years of school development has been enriched by many missionaries and national principals whom we remember with gratitude on this day. Each of them in their own way have left an indelible impression in the annals of this institution. We reap today what they sowed. Much of what the school is now is a result of their hard work. Schools do not exist merely to get children through examination. They help the students to build their character and personality, to be an example to others in the community.
Chairperson of the governing body for educational institutions, Tanja Pires, was also present. Bishop of Colombo, the Right Reverend Dushant Rodrigo, was among the other dignitaries present at the event. Indian film RRR got its well-deserved moment in the Oscar spotlight yesterday, making some Sri Lankans wonder what strides its own movie industry has made. Apart from the mainstream cinema industry in the country, short films have become a popular avenue up-and-coming local filmmakers take to showcase their talent. Tonight, we take a look at the latest work of two young filmmakers with high ambitions.
I'm sorry. Where was I?
Teddy, a short film written and directed by Akash Sunet Kumar, starring Ureni Noshika, is a psychological drama. The story is about a woman who dissects and explores different levels of her marriage. Akash, along with Kasun Ratnasiri, the film's director of photography, started making movies in 2015. Within 7 years, they have made short films ranging from a variety of genres like action, horror, thriller, and even sci-fi. Their first and second publicly released short films were screened in arguably the biggest entertainment convention in the world, the San Diego Comic-Con, twice, a first for Sri Lanka.
Making a film is actually like training for the Olympics. You have the pre-production phase where you train, you build up your story, you pretty much develop everything. And then production is kind of like, the moment you're running the race. That lasts for a considerably short time. And then the aftermath of it is where you actually end up putting everything together what you edited. So that process to get to a place where you are happy with the production, where you are telling the story in the best way that you can, editing it, getting feedback, and then going back up again and cutting it, ensuring that we are telling the story as best as we can, that process takes time.
Akash and Kasun, along with their team, worked on the movie for more than 11 months.
The filmmakers have been in a comfort zone. So they know, like we all know that we had like phases, like historic films, family films, comedy. So they were in phases. Like if one does it, the other one does the same thing because it's safe. They are all in the comfort zone. So trying to create something new, we can't be in the comfort zone.
Like Akash and Kasun, there are many up-and-coming filmmakers in Sri Lanka. It's obvious that this generation of filmmakers is vastly different from the previous generations. But has the Sri Lankan audience, the biggest stakeholder in this industry, changed?
You can't fool the audience is what I think, because the newer generation, we have been exposed to all kinds of content through the internet. So they know what's good, what the international standard is. So the audience in that way, they have changed, but what I think has not changed is the type of films that we see coming out from the local community. And that in a way is what we have to change, because it's not really a competition amongst filmmakers in the country. It's about us and how far the rest of the world is moving ahead. So we need to step our own game up and give our audience what they want, because there are people willing to consume quality content.
This production quality doesn't always come with budget. That's what I feel. Because getting a camera, nowadays cameras are like, you can shoot very good quality images with whatever camera you have. And adding into that and thinking about how this is going to look on screen and creating things, it doesn't always take a lot of money. We see a lot of people adding videos onto YouTube and all that. So I think we can definitely compete with Hollywood and Bollywood movies, and we just need to find the right people to invest and all that, and we can create a very big industry here.
For many who watched it, Teddy could be a different experience. But for Kasun and Akash, it will be just another prize in their collection of work. A collection they will continue to add on in their journey of telling stories. Sanitha Senanayaka, News First, Colombo. The Silicon Valley Bank, a prominent player in the American financial market, has announced its closure due to bad investments. The bank had invested in government securities, and with the US Treasury increasing interest rates, the bank suffered significant losses. Dhananath Fernando, the CEO of Advocata, a Sri Lankan think tank, weighed in on the matter, emphasizing the importance of trust in the banking system. He stated, one of the key pillars of any banking and financial system is the trust factor.
And as we all know, one of the key pillars of any banking and a financial system is the trust factor. So when the trust is tarnished, basically people get confused, and as a result, most of the people wanted to quickly withdraw the money that they have deposited or invested in the bank. That's one reason why that at a very short period of time that Silicon Valley Bank had to face that unfortunate quite of situation. And it was reported that I think some of the branches have been bought over by one of the other leading banks for a very nominal price. So it's important that our Sri Lanka as well to keep the stability and the trustworthiness of the banking system for the betterment of our financial institutes.
In international news, the leaders of the United States, United Kingdom and Australia have announced more details of how Australia will acquire nuclear submarines under a security pact for the Asia Pacific that was first unveiled 18 months ago, which is aimed at preserving a free and open Indo-Pacific. Australia will buy 3 American nuclear submarines. Australia will also have the option to purchase 2 more of the nuclear submarines after the initial deal, which is slated for the early 2030s.
I've always said, when asked, the United States is a Pacific power, because we're on the Pacific Ocean. We are a Pacific power. The United States has safeguarded stability in Indo-Pacific for decades through the enormous benefits of nations throughout the region, from ASEAN to Pacific Islanders to the People's Republic of China.
In the last 18 months, the challenges we face have only grown. Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, China's growing assertiveness, the destabilizing behavior of Iran and North Korea, all threaten to create a world defined by danger, disorder and division. Faced with this new reality, it is more important than ever that we strengthen the resilience of our own countries.
The AUKUS agreement we confirm here in San Diego represents the biggest single investment in Australia's defence capability in all of our history, strengthening Australia's national security and stability in our region.
While China only received glancing reference on Monday, the security agreement is part of an ongoing effort by the 3 nations to respond to Beijing's growing military might and increasingly assertive presence in the Asia Pacific. It includes a commitment to cooperate on building artificial intelligence capabilities, hypersonic weapons and other advanced technologies. On Sports First tonight, we take a look at Big Match Fever.
The world's second oldest cricket encounter, the Battle of the Blues between Royal College, Colombo and St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia, dates back to 1897 when the first game was played. The 144th Battle of the Blues will be played at the SSC grounds in Colombo from the 16th to the 18th of March 2023. It is known as the Battle of the Blues due to the colours of the 2 school flags, blue, gold and blue of Royal College and blue, black and blue of St. Thomas's College. The Battle of the Blues is played for the prestigious D.S.N. Memorial Shield, and its current custodians are St. Thomas's College, who won the Battle of the Blues in 2019.
I'm confident that my men will play to the best of their ability and emerge victorious on the 3rd day. Both the bowling unit and batting unit have done really well for the season. So after the lapse of 2 years after the pandemic, we are playing under a crowd. So I assume both the teams are well excited to play.
St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia have won 4 of the 17 games played in the ongoing school's cricket match season. St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia will feature 6 power-hitting batsmen and 5 bowlers at this year's Battle of the Blues. The 144th Battle of the Blues will be open for spectators for the first time in 2 years, and St. Thomas's College, Mount Lavinia is determined to retain the prestigious D.S.N. Memorial Shield.
West End stars Roshani Abbey and Nuwan Hugh Pereira from Sri Lanka made a special performance of the song Anagate at the Commonwealth Day service that was also attended by King Charles.
the response has been so overwhelming in the best possible way. I think people have been moved, and I think there's a spark of hope reignited again. I mean, the country, as we know, is still struggling, and we're trying to come back up. So the fact that we could touch people's heart and give some hope to Sri Lankans out there in the world, and especially people at home, it means a lot to us.
We felt quite nervous earlier during the week when we were preparing what to sing yesterday, because we were feeling the pressure of representing the country, representing the region. I'm so proud of my Sri Lankan heritage. It felt very special for us to be able to do that.
And that brings us to the end of this edition of Primetime News here on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I've been Senita Senanaka. Take care and stay safe.